Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Weekly Game Chat. I'm your host, Chris, as always, joined by my co-host, Shaun.
I bought a Mellow Yellow for 99 cents.
Who buys that? And John.
Where's my Mellow Yellow?
At the stove.
I would have enjoyed a Mellow Yellow.
I don't believe that. Because you stock up on at least 3 Diet Dr. Peppers.
Mellow Yellow used to be my drink of choice.
Was it your jam?
No, I've never had a jam in my life.
Tinted sausage.
Were you just asking for a Mellow Yellow entitlement? Like, you expect it? Like, someone just needs to provide that for you for the rest of your life, even though you didn't earn a Mellow Yellow?
Well, sure.
He earned it today. So
but Shaun's not the government. He's a friend.
Good point. So we had lunch today, John and I, right?
As far as you know. He's not
at a pizza joint.
And, can we call that?
Yes, we can, Richard.
Called a garbage joint.
Don't start just because you know what, Chris? You've officially turned on the I'm going after you hardcore today. Hey,
I'm going to go after you. The whole entire
topic.
Don't
you touch my...
The whole entire topic, I'm just going to go after you. I'm like, really?
Wait, you do that anyway.
Yeah.
We already know how that goes. So John and I are at our pizza joint.
Weekly hate chat.
And as the order goes around, this lunch special is either like a 7-inch with a couple of toppings, a salad and a drink of your choice, or a 10-inch with one topping, a salad and the drink of your choice. So it's John, me, and another friend that I got.
I can give you a 10-inch for that price.
The other friend orders the 10-inch pepperoni.
Ooh.
It comes to me, and just like every time we're at this joint, I say 10-inch sausage. And John chuckles every single time, just like that. So John orders a 10-inch pepperoni. We have our lunch. Everything's great. We get up to the register. John's first in line. John says, I got the 10-inch pepperoni. I got this, this, and this. Okay, your total's this, this, and this. Hey, sir, what's yours? Oh, I got the 10-inch sausage with a Coke. And chuckles ensues to the point where John has to walk outside as fast as possible. And it made me very happy.
He is a boy.
But it's good stuff. It doesn't matter. We could go now 3 months without eating there again. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I order a 10-inch sausage...
You want to go next week?
It would mark the
haven't you gone? Yeah, I was about to say, haven't you gone like every week?
We apparently went last week, and I forgot about that. Was it early last week?
No, it was like Friday.
There's no way we went
No, it wasn't Friday. But it was either Wednesday or Thursday.
No.
Yeah. It was late last week. I remember this.
No. There's no way we went that close.
Because
maybe it was Monday or Tuesday.
You did that, and...
I just know it wasn't Friday. It just wasn't Friday.
I think you did that, and... I think there was talks of other people going somewhere else besides that. I can't remember.
I feel like it was right around the time of the recording as well, so I'm thinking Monday or Tuesday.
What do you want for dinner tonight?
I don't care.
New Firehouse?
We can go to Jarfly, try out the new Jarfly.
What is he doing?
What's a Jarfly?
What is he doing?
Oh, you didn't know that? That's the place that replaced Locos.
Yeah, let's go to that place.
Something finally
supposed to be
replaced
good.
it.
Yeah, is it?
Is it a sit-down restaurant?
Yeah. I think, like, kind of like a sports bar, kind of like a Buffalo Wild Wings, but local.
I'm out.
You don't even know what it is.
It doesn't matter. It's a Chris restaurant, and I'm out.
You know, Locos used to have a tower.
I haven't been there. I don't know if it's good.
But you know about it, and you're like, let's go.
Only reason I know about it, it's the guys who run Nonik. I know it's their show.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're cool.
Yeah, they're good guys.
Yeah, they all right.
Yeah.
So they might have that veggie burger?
I doubt it.
Do you
it's
like
more?
a veggie
It's
burger?
supposed to be a little bit more affordable menu than
the one at Nonik is you wouldn't believe it was a veggie burger
because it's not.
I think they actually have a real burger.
No, that's great. I'm glad for them. But this veggie burger, like Clarissa, took me to this place to try the veggie burger.
She?
Who's that?
My wife.
Your wife.
And it was unbelievable. It tasted almost like real beef,
which is good.
And I know.
Yeah, you know about real beef in your mouth.
I know about real beef in my mouth. So,
all 10 inches of it. Sausage.
Whoa.
Just rolling off the back today. I'm high.
Whoa. What?
Kind of like that kicker for the Ravens.
I did a lot of Coke before I walked in here.
You didn't see the Ravens kicker?
I did. I gotta be honest, Chris. Did not watch a lick of NFL football.
This kicker hasn't missed an extra point in like 200 and something attempts. He missed to tie the game to take it to overtime against New Orleans. And when you see his face, he looks like someone who is the most shocked, generally shocked gentleman in the world.
Yeah, well, he deserves it.
Yeah.
To be not,
How bad did he miss?
I didn't actually see the kick itself. I just saw the meme. I was laughing.
Of course you did.
Well, I was watching my team.
Your Redskins beat the Cowboys. Blah,
Yes.
blah, blah.
Speaking of missing field goal kicks.
Yeah, but they got Amari Cooper now, Roll Tide.
I don't care. I hate Amari Cooper now. He's dead to me. He doesn't exist. He never played at Alabama. You know why we won national championships? Not because of Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper, I tell you that much.
There's Derrick Henry.
I watched the old Tottenham Hotspur win on Saturday.
I smoked a victory cigar Saturday night.
Yeah. I hit a deer Saturday night.
What?
Yeah.
How bad?
Car's in the shop right now, hence the motorcycle.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering why you were on that.
Yeah. Well,
given the weather.
The weather's fine. I got a jacket.
Well, it looked like it was a little cloudy.
I got to get patched in. Weather's no concern to me.
5 minutes later.
It's so cold.
Hey, can you give me a lift?
I'm setting you up, okay? For
Oh,
what
yeah,
you're going to say. So driving in, like on a motorcycle, generally if the temperature's like 70, it feels maybe 55-ish on a bike.
That's how wind works.
Or whatever. You understand the logic,
Yeah,
right?
I got you.
So this morning it was already 58 when I left the house. So I said, I need to kind of bundle up. So the jacket that we got from our job, it's a good jacket.
Yeah.
It's a
I actually think I left that just by mistake.
So it'll keep you warm. It was wind resistant. I was good. Get to work. We go to lunch. And on the way to lunch, I decided that it must be warm enough to where I don't need this jacket anymore.
Uh-oh.
Boy, was I wrong.
Oh, so you had it at work.
Yeah.
I just thought you were dumb all day.
So
No. So yeah, when I pull up, I'm a freezing boy, ain't I, John?
Oh, yeah.
it's 70 right now. And probably by the time you're riding home, it'll be, according to this, 63.
Like Lloyd, Dumb and Dumber riding through the Rocky Mountains on the moped.
That part of the movie, the first time I watched it, right? You think about that. The first time when their boogers are like frozen and stuff. It was one of those times
when he lifts off the bike and he's just like
Stuck
frozen
to
his
him
back.
because he peed on his back. Oh, that's warm. Oh, that's warm.
That's good stuff. That scene and the toilet bowl scene.
Oh, man.
I could not stop laughing.
We had to take my mother to the hospital after she saw that scene.
Why?
Because she has a sensitivity to bathroom humor. She just loses it. In a great way.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can say fart and she loses.
That's where you get it from.
Probably to some extent. Yeah,
It's like been dumbed down from the mixing of the genes.
something like that.
You don't have level 10 severity. You have like level 6.
Yeah.
Besides that,
World Series is tonight. Anybody
John's
interested in that? Red Sox and
I
Dodgers.
feel like I
Red Sox,
should, but
Red Sox are my team. Dodgers are his team. So
yeah. I just, even like the last couple of years as the Orioles have been good, except for this year, they were obviously
there's
the
always an
worst
except
ever.
for this year for the Orioles. They suck.
No. It's not like that's uncommon. Don't get me wrong. Remember, I've lived through the 90s.
Look, I prefer the Ravens over the Redskins, so I give Baltimore some love on that aspect.
Sure.
But screw the Orioles.
Okay. What did we do to you?
You like them.
I just didn't expect. I didn't expect Dodgers to make it this year because I think in August they were like in third place in their division. I just didn't see it happening. And
Eve Little Faith.
What time? When does the season start? In April, right?
Yeah.
And that was pretty late in the year. Just in case people have no idea how Major League Baseball works. That's getting close to the postseason there, Johnny boy.
Yes.
And they were in third.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe it was July. It could have been July.
But they got old, as my friend at lunch today called it, Sammy Kershaw on the mound.
More importantly, they got the boost of the year from the Orioles. Right?
Here he goes.
I don't
Manny Machado.
Yes. You got him from
If
us.
you
We
say,
traded him to
who's
you.
Manny Machado?
Yes.
I will have to take your Dodger card.
No, I can't see his face. Pitcher?
No.
Infielder, shortstop.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Manny freaking Machado.
that guy.
One of the best guys that's 25 years old.
The Brewers booed the crap out of him all series.
Well, yeah.
Because he
ran through the bag or whatever.
he kicked the first baseman's foot. Now, to me, it looked like the guy's foot was in the middle of the bag, which it doesn't need to be in the middle of the bag. But I don't know what happened. I just know the Brewers did not take it well. So they booed him.
I've never seen
the Brewers have an explosive squad. Dodgers are consistent by the numbers. Chris would like them because they're a very analytical team. They'll run their pitching staff.
Most of them are analytical teams now.
But
that's an analytical answer.
The Brewers rely on the Brewers when they score big in single innings.
Yeah.
But if they don't score big in single innings, they don't typically win a series like this. So
they haven't been in a series like this in a minute.
Yeah,
neither have the Dodgers.
I don't care about baseball as much as I used to, and it sucks. But it's just like I guess times change, and I think like that's most of America. Like I think America is now, for the most part, it's football, right, and it's basketball. Like those are the two.
I think that's a broad statement. I don't
Viewership's
think that's
actually up for baseball.
I don't think you understand how many people are in the United States that watch sports.
Sure. Now, to be fair,
just gloss over it.
The biggest sport in the U.S. is basketball, but I mean like that in worldwide sense.
I will say it's hard. Yeah. It's hard to gauge baseball's national popularity when you live in the middle of SEC country.
Right. You feel like
nobody cares about the World Series around here because everybody's just invested in what's going on in the SEC. I mean, football here is
during football season, unless the Braves make the playoffs.
Yeah, but
then
even
you get some buzz.
Playoffs.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, the Braves did make the playoffs.
They did.
Dodgers beat them.
Yeah. That doesn't hurt me.
I know.
Yeah, I don't care.
That was for the
proverbial. Eat it, Josh Orlich. I don't know.
On the podcast.
What about who does Josh Dalton like?
Braves. There you go. I'm trying to think.
Hurt.
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, it's
if
the
you
same
don't care, why are we talking about it? Let's move on.
Whoa.
Games.
Ouch.
Whoa.
Games.
Do you understand how short the topic of the week is going to be? Right? We need to fluff this up, Johnny boy. I did start watching Ozark.
Ooh. It feels like this show that someone said, like, look, let's just take when Breaking Bad got to level 10 and just go with that.
It's not though.
It's not. There's no slow build up like Breaking.
Have you watched Ozark?
I've watched the first season. Yes.
Okay.
So
and you think that?
I mean, the first freaking episode of that whole entire thing.
That was hardcore.
Yeah.
So
it sets a tone.
With Sons of Anarchy, you started riding a motorcycle.
Yeah. Now I gotta.
And I remember when you were watching Breaking Bad.
First of all,
you opened up a meth lab.
Whoa.
So what's big in Ozark? What's going on in the Ozark? Is that
money
like
laundering
literally
and the Ozarks in Missouri?
Okay.
Do you know what those are?
You sure that's not Arkansas?
It is Arkansas and Missouri, I think. I think they go back.
Yeah. Because they mentioned Mizzou a lot on the show.
It's like on the borders.
Yeah.
That's why it's popular, because I think like that's where all the people from St. Louis and all that go down to.
Gotcha.
Chicago.
Yeah.
The Cabs.
They can't afford to go up to the lakes, so they go down.
I don't know what that means. Is that a thing?
The Great Lakes?
No, I know they're a thing.
There's 5 of them.
What?
One of them's
What
superior.
What am I going to watch? Man, I haven't seen Man in the High Castle yet, but Ozarks, go ahead.
I've started watching Man in the High Castle too.
I have to start it over.
It's a show that people they're praising, right? And I'm kind of torn because
it's not. I don't think it's unanimous praise. But
where are you at?
I'm like in season 1, obviously. Yeah.
It's a slow burn.
That one guy's already dead, and
that one
guy that's not a Nazi or a Japanese man's already dead.
That one guy's already dead.
No, he's very Japanese.
I'll say
very important.
I've read the short story and
wait, there's a short story?
Yeah, it's a Philip K. Dick story, and I don't mean Dick as in Richard. I mean his last name is actually Dick.
Because it'll be Philip K. Richard.
But anyway,
nothing.
But I have to say, like I've read a good bit of his stories because he writes a lot of the most famous sci-fi stuff, and it's not one of my favorites. Where it went, I still haven't even watched the second season, so I was interested by the end of it, but that's about it.
Yeah, I always enjoy when a movie takes the source material and improves it, like Lord of the Rings,
or like The Witcher. Wait, no.
I don't know. I haven't read The Witcher. I've been meaning to read.
Everyone says the books are really good.
I know. I just tried
There's 5 of them.
Yeah.
For John, I tried to dabble my toe back in the games because it's a gaming podcast. So I just threw.
I actually played a game.
You what? What?
Well, I've been rushing to try to beat Assassin's Creed, and it's becoming prevalent that it's probably not going to happen. I've gotten so much. I've only got like 4.
You can probably the way you are. You could probably just breeze through the story and finish it.
I don't. Chapter 7. Wait, that is like forever. And if it's like if the other 2 chapters are like that, the final 2, then nah.
So there's 9 chapters.
Yeah,
9.
7th chapter.
I've gotten just about every cultist dead, except for the ones that I can't get because of story. I'm Shaun and John saw. I'm pretty close to level 50.
I don't know what that meant.
That's max level.
No, I know. That's the second time you told me that today, Chris. Yeah. So my retention on that will be great, I promise. But I didn't know what level you were. I just know item 47, gloves, and like something else dropped.
They're all, and I'll just break those down for more material because I'm to the point in the game like I have so much money I don't even need it anymore.
That's not good.
How did you get the Artemis outfit?
The Artemis, yeah. Did you do the fight?
See, I was asking. I was going to see what you chose.
I chose to fight her.
What happened?
I killed her, and I got her.
What's the benefit?
Is this a spoiler?
Not really.
Okay.
What's the benefit of it?
You get afterwards. You get the Daughters of Artemis for your ship if you want them. They're like gold quality.
Head bob kind of.
What do you get?
Like,
I didn't hear what that was.
You know the Daughters of Artemis, like who's just part of.
But I didn't hear Daughters of Artemis. What? I didn't
for
hear
your
that.
ship. Like you can have them as a skin, like for your soldiers.
Oh, okay.
Like you can have different skins.
Is that beneficial? Does that really matter?
My guess is because it's a legendary unlock. There's probably just like there was for your main equipment. I'm guessing if one of them is to have everything legendary status. So like I might as well because I'm literally 2 things away.
Did you ask? Did you ask in the skill tree? Not the skill dialogue tree. There must be another way. Did you go that route?
I tried it first, and then
it just didn't pan out.
I made a choice and I was like, well, relationships in this game mean jack, so I just went and said, fine, you want to do that? Well, let's throw down and see what happens.
I just straight up said I'm not fighting you, and then they started attacking me. So I got out of there.
So I guess I made the right call because it's like,
I guess.
Yeah.
But to me it was like, no, I hit this 3 times.
Yeah.
No, twice.
Oh.
I hit it twice.
That's
I managed to fall through the world. That was interesting.
I did that. No.
I was trying to escape 3 mercenaries at once, jumped off the side like of a cliff into water and went under the base and everything's just floating above me and I'm like, oh.
The coolest glitch I had in that game is a mercenary was chasing after me on his horse and his horse kept going and he stayed there in midair floating, but he turned into the polygonal bare bones of his animation. Almost like the skin falling off for Unity.
Yes.
Or
oh God.
The ones where they had no
the
face.
Eyes, yeah, where it's just the eyes.
But it was almost like the basic design when they first started doing character models. It looked like that.
Ugh.
No face, no clothes, nothing. Just polygonal objects. It was creepy.
I would like to see that in a cutscene.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting when it's like high res.
I fell through the earth for Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
You bringing up faces falling off and stuff made me think about The Walking Dead. Did you watch it? I don't watch it anymore.
Yeah, I'm done with The Walking Dead.
Okay. I watched the first episode, but I can't watch it because I don't have any cable right now.
Only thing I've watched.
What do you got to wait for?
Huh?
What have you watched?
Only thing I watched this week was TV-wise was Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, that was back on or something, right?
It's been back on for 2 weeks. It's been good so far. It's very. We're in a world where where the guy who's been running it for the last 5 years, Stephen Moffat, is no longer there.
Who's that?
He's the head showrunner. He's the guy. Okay. Have you ever seen Sherlock?
No.
He also
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes, he's the guy who show ran that too. But
what's the difference between a showrunner and a director?
Showrunner is like, so with TV, like, there's producers, of course, in movie. They're basically producers for the TV show, but they have a much bigger role than, like, say, normally you would in a movie, because they're the ones, whereas in TV, like, you don't usually just have one set writer, one director. It's very rare. It does happen on a couple occasions. The showrunner is kind of like that directing force, that it's their job to look over what your whole entire season is and make sure you have all the pieces in place. So like you're guiding the writers and you're saying, hey, this is where we're aiming to go. Let's work for this. This needs to be reworked. And then you say, hey, I think that director would be really good for this kind of episode, that kind of thing. So like, for instance, two of the most famous are Damon Lindelof and Carlton Cuse, who did Lost, and like, they're the ones who kind of like had to keep the Bible of everything and make sure it worked from week to week. And then once it comes out of them, out of their hands, it's like, it's putting in a position so that like they could hand it off to a director and be like, hey, we're in LA working on this. You're in Hawaii. Make this work for us. That's what their job is. It's a tough job, they say.
Kind of like Blade Runner, where,
I get none of these references. Kind of like, Blade Runner. I'm like, what does that mean?
Showrunner.
But Blade Runner.
Blade Runner, yeah.
But yeah, this week the doctor, probably one of my neighbors.
You have neighbors?
Yes.
I thought one
Do they
got arrested.
know you live here?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought one was like running from the law.
Yeah, he's probably, I don't think he's going to be here anymore. I haven't seen him in a while.
It's been a while.
Right.
Whoa.
But this week the doctor visited Rosa Parks. It was very emotional.
Why was the doctor visiting Rosa Parks?
Because that's what she does. I can say she now.
Yeah, you do.
She changed sexes. They can do that. Time Lords. We've given you 22 minutes of filler. Are you good?
This has been organic, Chris. This has not been
has
filler.
been organic filler.
It has not even been. This is exactly what we do. Normally we talk more about Alabama football and this and this and this.
Tua is good.
He said Tua is God, for those of you who don't understand. Deep voice Southern Chris.
Tua's going to win a Heisman and take it to another championship.
Tua's going to win the Heisman and take Alabama to another championship.
Tua's going to score 8 touchdowns the weekend at LSU.
Tua will score 8 touchdowns this weekend versus LSU.
I meant next weekend. We're off this weekend.
He meant next weekend. Alabama is off this weekend.
I'll be playing.
I went fishing this weekend.
Oh, yeah, you did. Mm-hmm. And hey, Chris,
did you catch anything?
Over and under. Mm-hmm. Well, what do you think the number of fish were that he caught?
What were you fishing for?
Not me personally. The trip.
I want to know 2 questions.
Sure. 2 answers.
No,
yeah.
No, this is fair because depending on the type of fishing, and
catfish, Okefenokee.
What were you fishing for, primarily?
Catfish.
Okay, lake or river, ocean,
swamp, lake, swamp lake, Billy's Lake, but it's a swamp.
Okay, I'll go with 8.
Boo.
Well, are you asking how many I caught or how many the
collectively
trip yielded?
How long were you fishing?
We fished from 8 a.m. to maybe 2 in the afternoon.
One day?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was me, my father, my sister, and brother. So 4 people.
Yeah, between all of you, I'll say you got 8.
8 catfish?
Yeah.
Dang, he thinks y'all suck.
Man, he does. We got 30.
Oh, wow.
30 catfish.
I for one, I hate catfish. I've never catfished, went catfishing.
Like catfished online?
Put it this way, the only times I've encountered them was fishing for bass and, you reeled in, there's a freaking catfish, and you go, oh, that sucks, and then I would just go clip and go, you have a nice life.
Well, with bass, most people prefer bass because they don't like being bored. Like, with bass, you cast your line, and then you're slowly reeling in because that bass has to see a worm moving.
Yeah.
With catfish, they're bottom feeders, so you have to keep that line down at the bottom of the lake and just sit there and wait for it to take your line.
I don't even use
and the water will kind of just wiggle it just so slightly.
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit. And we each had maybe 2 poles out.
Yeah.
But
the whole Richards out, huh?
Yeah, the whole time there was one gator that just sort of sat outside our boat the entire day.
And he just looked at you.
It was an 8-foot gator. He was at its closest, it was 2 feet away from me.
Dude, what kind of boat are you in?
A skiff.
A John boat?
Just a skiff. It's like there's like 5 individual seats inside of a boat with a motor on the back.
Can the alligator just bite that boat in half?
No.
The
gator could probably knock it with his tail and maybe cause some problems. It could maybe tip our boat over.
But y'all could start the motor and go.
Oh,
more than likely, if it did anything, it would just go away.
Just probably walk on water and run back to the dock. But Jeff caught a blackfish, which some people like the meat of a blackfish. Most people don't. But it's like it's a 2-foot fish. It's just not good meat. It's like a cat. What's going on, man?
Is that what it's called? Huh?
It's called a blackfish.
Well, okay.
That's what.
Take your word for it.
Yeah, I'll believe John.
Kidding.
John's a fisherman.
Josh,
right.
Yeah, we're giggling. Can we be
Maybe
giggly?
Maybe that's not the official word, but it's a colloquial word.
Oh, that's a better word to bring it back. Like you're not dumb.
So we didn't keep those because the meat's bad. They're just not. They don't taste good. So we threw it back at the gator.
Oh,
we're not supposed to do that
because then it makes the gator think, "Hey, these guys are feeding me."
And the next boat it sees, it's just going to come up looking for food. So we've probably killed somebody.
Good job.
But my brother threw the blackfish at the gator, and it hit its back, and it whipped around. And we were like, "Oh, it must have missed." But as the water settled, you could hear the crunching of that gator's jaws.
It got in the fish that fast.
He got in it that fast.
I like to think
Gators are so fast.
Yes, they are.
They just don't move when they don't need to.
I like to think he was just sitting in there going, "Hey, come in the water. I'm gonna eat you."
First of all, I hope the gator sounded like that.
I always think of that like there's a Family Guy where Jaws, like the famous Jaws poster, like he's sitting beneath the 2 people floating on top of the water, and he's just like, "Look at them. I'm gonna eat them. I can see right up them shorts."
Well, we're guessing that it hung around us all day because we were probably parked in front of its nest or something like that. It might have had some babies that were waiting on it. So
great job, John.
Shark.
But the fishing spot was so good, we didn't want to move.
Wow.
Yeah, 32. You said
30.
Yeah,
but
right, dude. So at my festival that you heard that I was at,
how many times did you have to
once,
play?
and they came out like zombies. The kids did.
Baby Shark.
The song's like a minute and a half long, John. If you've never heard Baby Shark,
we were doing that song when I was a camp counselor 20 years ago.
Well,
so I am puzzled why it's suddenly become popular.
It's blown up on YouTube. Some dude has put a beat behind it, and it's a thing.
It's weird.
From a TV show, right? And then like all the parents put it on there because it
play it off like you don't know the TV show, Chris.
I don't know the TV show. I've only seen the video.
Kids got a kick out of it years back, but it was I'm like,
Grandma,
something old is new again. Yeah, and
I don't know if you know this, John. The kids weren't around when it was popular the first time.
You never know. If you had watched Netflix's original series Dark, they could have been in 1986 and 2019. Just saying.
Touche, Chris.
Are we?
My name's Shaun.
But he said,
"Boo."
I mean, you could put Barney on right now, and I'm sure a kid would be entertained, right? Like, look, I love you. You love me. It's amazing. Are we ready to do this, Shaun?
Can you do a Barney real quick?
I can do it.
Do it.
Let's do it.
Let's see it.
I love you. You love me.
Hi, boys and girls.
Who I wanted to kill.
Believe in yourself, Chris.
I wanted to kill Baby Bob.
See, I don't do that. I do Kermit. Right?
Do it.
Do we want to hear Chris Kermit?
I would love to hear it. I've never heard it.
Heidi ho there, Kermit the Frog. It's the Mama Show. Because it's kind of like one step off. It's one step off.
You did that, but now you got to do Gandalf.
You.
Can I get a fly, you fools, into the topic?
Yeah, you could probably get that.
Yeah.
Let me clear my throat.
Did you see my show notes?
No.
Oh, well, why'd you?
I never prep for those, John.
If you can't remember what we're talking about today, I want you to look at the show notes.
It kind
the
of
show
tells
notes
you
will tell
how
you.
little he thinks of you. They didn't have respect for the game that you put the work in for. I'm so creating a fight right now. But anyways,
did he really do something douchey like that?
Hey.
Lovingly douchey.
I got my notes
No,
right here.
it's typical troll, John. That's what he does.
What are you trying to imply, John?
Topic of the week.
And on that,
that's funny.
That's funny. Totally.
You, John.
Totally douchey. It's totally douchey.
It's not. I thought you had actually went out and wrote all the stuff I should say.
No.
Yeah, I was like, that's kind of douchey.
I kind of like next time though. Like, I need you to have.
I need you.
Like the next time that Assassin's Creed comes out, you need to write the show notes for it.
I could totally do that.
Just
because I knew which one we were talking about. I just couldn't forget. I just couldn't remember the name.
You just couldn't forget it.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember. Now,
will you pull up some stuff?
I could have looked it up. I could have.
I don't need it.
Hey, I prepped. I do.
Well, I want him to see it, and
no, he can do it.
All the 9.5s and 10s this game's got.
It has.
I just did it because I knew you would appreciate it.
I do.
And
you know what I want to do? Fly, you fools!
Topic time. You did it again. You did it again.
Yeah, I forgot to mute it again.
Is it going to just play out now? We're just going
with
it, huh?
Yeah, we're just going with it because I'm dumb.
This is what you guys, it's going to sound
kind of
weird
like
again.
This topic this week. It's dumb.
It's
no,
not.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's
I'm not John.
It's not, I didn't listen last week. I was going to say it's not a thing. I don't think it bothers them too much.
You know what I did last week?
What?
I lowered the bass because one person. I was interested to see if anyone else would, besides the one person.
One person
we
said
need
something,
the
or
bass.
one person needs
One
it?
person had been asking if we could try it, and I was like, I will try it out.
Is it because my voice
No,
is
no,
too
no.
manly?
I don't know who the person is. I don't understand. This is simply just a question.
Okay.
Do we cater to one or the masses?
You know, there have been rulers who have been arguing about catering for the greater good for quite some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, one was called Voldemort. Oh, you know, this is the one thing I did do this weekend. I rewatched Fantastic Beasts so I could remember what the hell happened. So when I watched this new one,
It's
I
a
like
good
that
one.
one.
It's a
I
good
did.
one.
That's
When
all
I
right.
originally watched it, didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Harry Potter fan, novels, all that stuff, and rewatched it. It was pretty good.
Well, I didn't. I was reluctant when I saw it. It's that year we went to Disney World, and me and Aiden went to see it.
Folded the paper the other way.
cool. You know what? I should probably say this. The topic is we're just so checked out on
What do the notes say?
I can't read the notes.
The show notes officially, you guys.
No, you can't read that. That's not.
Oh, no?
Yeah, you can't say that.
Okay.
I believe it's Astro
Bot Rescue Mission.
Okay, Astro Bot Rescue Mission. That's the topic this week.
Yeah, it is.
So proud of you, Shaun.
Well, I was joking with John at lunch. I said this game is going to be like the filler game before like next week.
What's happening next week?
See, already. I told him that you'd probably bring this up several times this podcast, so you cannot let me down. But of course, it's Red Dead Friday.
Red Dead Friday. I like that.
Yeah, RDF.
Speaking of which, so John, if I buy it at GameStop, you won't buy it from me.
This makes
Sound
no
like
sense.
It's not like you're going to play it anytime.
No sense, dude. I don't understand.
What are you paying for it?
I'll pay $60
Meaning I have to give you $60?
if you want it. from
Which
me.
means go buy your own $60.
Yeah, I could trade something in and get it cheaper.
And I'll just
Or
trade
he
back
could-
in for Fallout.
Or he could be a friend, let you play it since he's already buying it, and then give it
That's-
back to him so he can trade it in.
I'm not Chris's friend. I used to be.
You're not Matt's friend either. What's happening?
I'm his buddy.
We had this whole shtick.
It's like, really, the only reason they even get it is just so I can play from 9 to 12. That's it.
So why? You're going to play so much.
Oh, and then the
I
map.
paid
That'd be the other
$60
thing.
extra
For
to
3
play
hours
2
and a
hours
map.
more.
That I could Google.
You're that obsessed with the game.
But I want the official, I can hold it in my hand.
Oh, it comes with the pull-out map.
Yes, they all do.
That's really funny.
Never pull out.
Ever. Well, speaking of official and in your hand, I was lucky enough to find a copy of Astro Bot Rescue Mission at my local Walmart. If you had searched for the game to try to find a physical copy in the store, all of them would say you have to ship it to the stores and stuff. So I knew I had seen Astro Bot VR. It came out on October 2nd, so it's been a while. Thanks, John. It's just we had if you listen to this program, there's been games we played beforehand, and this game just kind of literally is, hey, what are we going to cover the week before Red Dead? Our options were this game, Soul Calibur, or Starlink. Mm-hmm. Did you ever pick that up? By the way, you didn't.
I haven't.
That's right, because you did the out of town thing.
Yep.
Something that I still want to play. I'm hearing good things.
It
about
looks really good.
Sleeper hit and whatnot, but
I haven't heard it's. I heard
Sleeper hit. That's all that matters. Shut up. But I picked the game up. I wanted this game from the moment I played Playroom VR. And Chris, I don't think you've played Playroom VR, right?
No, because I don't have.
But you hang out with Jeff
VR.
or what? I don't know if Jeff plays it or whatever.
He might have. I'm trying to think. Yes, I think maybe I have played it, but I was drunk.
Ram Ranch Edition.
Yeah, that's really funny. Chris is pulling up some images for Red Dead. There's a guy who on Reddit says, "I got it early, boys," and there is a cartoon drawn
rootin' tootin' cowboy shooting two.
Ram Ranch Edition stick figure. PS4.
It's in the game.
It's in the game. Cover art. It's amazing. But yeah, I've touted the Playroom VR version of this game forever because.
I'm sorry, Shaun.
Sorry. Keep going.
No, I can't because that's Ted Cruz dressed up like a cowboy.
Going to get his copy of Red Dead.
He's going to get his copy of Red Dead.
Anyways, I'm sorry, Shaun. I won't pull up anymore.
Please don't.
It's okay.
That was amazing.
The listeners know the disrespect I'm getting right now, so it's no problem.
He is getting disrespect. I have to admit.
It's probably fine.
I apologize.
The game's good. Go buy it.
There you go. 10 out of 10. And news now. I did check out gameplay of this week.
Were you watching it like on YouTube or Twitch or
up.
whatever?
YouTube.
Pull it up.
No, because you could do that on your own time. No, I'm kidding.
He's just trolling you. He's being funny. It's amazing how they turned the Playroom VR, the Astro Bot little level in there, the only one that's like the game right now, blew me away. Once I got my VR, I played the Playroom VR version of Astro Bots a gajillion times.
Yeah.
It's a simple run through. The way you do it, you have your VR headset on, and you're looking up in the space sky. You pick this thing, you go in there, and you got to go find robots. It sounds silly. There's something about when that level loads up and the VR headset's on your face, you're finding robots. See right here, the little guy comes out your controller. It's adorable. So Tinley plays it. My mom's played it. No, I'm close. I haven't beat it. No, I know. There's 26. Yeah, that's what you look like. There's 26 levels. I believe there's 20. I think there's 5 worlds with 4 or 5 levels apiece.
This is Japan studio, by the way, isn't it?
Yeah, I got notes, but you can say it's the same people that made the VR game. This guy looks awesome. So I was very excited to find out that due to fan reaction from the PlayStation VR version of the game, Japan. What are they called for real?
Japan Studio. Sony Japan.
SIE Japan Studio, right?
Yeah, it's like something like
so they make a full out version of this game.
This guy put googly eyes on his
VR, which
I'm glad you said that. I was like, is that what it looks like now?
No, but yeah, you start off here and the guy, every interaction you do in this game, from what the guy just did on the screen where he puts the controller into the controller on the screen to controlling your Astro Bot, it's just phenomenal on how good they took that simple idea and made a full version of a game. So the premise of the story is you're an Astro Bot he's a very lovable character. He's fun. He's got a sense of humor. He's got a personality. The only
hell.
Yeah, well, and you're seeing the beginning where your Astro Bot spaceship comes in, and something out of space comes and decides it's going to mess up your party and destroy your spaceship. And what happens is all of your Astro Bots get dispersed to different various worlds.
So you're going to each world to basically rescue them. Yeah. Hence, rescue mission.
Astro Bot rescue
mission.
Look at that.
Exactly. I got the title.
It's very Mario Galaxy-esque.
I was fixing to say, it kind of has that vibe to it.
Because it's set in space.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how fun of an experience this game is with a VR headset on and you being immersed into this world.
That's what everyone says.
Everybody's watching it. Like you're watching it right now, John, and it looks like a classic whatever kind of game, right? just a classic platformer, right? Mm-hmm. But in that world, your mind is blown, and this is the kind of game that they've started to make for PlayStation VR. They're finally starting to get these kind of platformers out.
Yeah. Well, there was on Oculus too. What was it? Lucky's Tale. Everyone really liked that.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, this is the kind of stuff that you own a PlayStation VR for. This is set a standard. If you guys remember, I covered Moss not too long ago. I love that game.
Still need to get that.
Those games it's an amazing game.
I will say the one thing that makes me upset is because this is Studio Japan, it won't ever be on
Oculus.
It'll be only on Sony. But maybe that will make me finally bite the bullet and get this one too. That's just such great perspective, I can tell.
Yeah, are you locked into that perspective right here?
No.
You can kind of rise up and join him.
You can rise up and you can stand up. You can lean to the side. This guy is just looking left to right, but and it actually is. Some of your people that you're rescuing are dependent on you looking around corners and doing things, and it's amazing. This is the beginning level.
I've noticed that it has that. In a way, it's kind of like the Captain Toad treasure tracker.
Yeah.
Set up like where it's like, but instead of rotating the Switch around, or I guess back then the Wii U gamepad, it's like instead it's like no. Rotate your head around.
It's everywhere.
Move yourself around and actually figure it out.
Yeah. It's so the first level creates a tone that's you realize that they've stepped their game up and they're giving you a quality product and a quality, gameplay experience. It's got great music. You saw the screens. There's these big screens that show up that are showing you how to do the basic functions that are going to basically carry you through the rest of the game. The double jumps, the punch-in, the things like that. One thing that you had in the PSVR version all the time was a mechanism on your controller where you'd slide the touchpad like forward, like give it a flick.
Yeah.
And a rope type object would come out with a hook, and you could like tightrope your Astro Bot to various locations. Mm-hmm. The way they've incorporated peripherals for your controller that you're holding in the virtual world is at certain points of the levels, you'll go up and actually put your controller in, and it will give you what device you needed added to the thing.
Okay.
So it's not just a rope anymore. I've got a water gun now that I can shoot, which then think about this. What are you going to use water for? Well, there's a flower that's closed. I need to shoot water on it. The flower opens up, and now there's several different flower petals I can jump on.
Can you use it to launch yourself?
Yes. There's the water can be used to clean off mud off an animal that's shooting something at you so you can actually punch the level. Super cool. The level designs, what that guy just found there is pretty cool. That's how you find the extra levels. There's hidden chameleons. So like in each world, your goal is to, of course, find the robots that are dispersed in the world because you're trying to get your boys back, the band back together, fix your ship, and do all that stuff.
Is there one per level, or is it like
no?
Multiple?
Each level can have between like 8 to 10.
Okay.
And some of them are very, very, very hidden. You have to pay attention to sounds because you'll hear the little robot guys trying to give you a hint onto where they are. Also, your Astro Bot guy will kind of wave at you and say, hey, down here or over here. Sometimes you have to be extremely brave. You know those situations in games where you're like, okay, I have to drop about 50 feet to get to this thing that I see, and I gotta make it perfect or I'm gonna die.
Oh, right? You mean like Super Meat Boy or
it's
anything in Super Mario Odyssey that requires work?
Right. You just saw
a big giant arm came out.
That arm is a precursor to something you have to fight.
It's like they're teasing you.
Well, if you played the PSVR version, it was a one and done. How many coins can you collect? Oh, this is cool. Let's get all the robots. You eventually know where all of them are. It's the demo, but it wasn't meant to be a demo. It was a small little, let's play it. And that was pretty much it. You had an option to hook up a spare controller, and it was called couch mode, where someone on the couch who didn't have the headset on could play with you and maybe find you extra hidden robots. But in this case, you have a mission. You got to go find your robot team, get them back together. And that's important because at a certain point, just like in Mario Galaxy or other games where you need certain pieces of stars or what have you to progress further, you have to have a certain amount of robots to get from, let's say, level 1 to level 2 and to level 3 and vice versa.
So your combat mechanic seems to be something you're shooting out of your feet.
That's the
gun
rockets
of water?
No, your little robot guy, when he jumps and you see the white, those are rocket packs that do it like a double jump so he can kind of glide across.
But it seems to cause damage to enemies if
he punches. That's
8.
a punch.
Okay.
Well, I think there's 10 in this level. I can't remember. And see right here, it's showing you. And these screens come up when you're learning something new. So right now he's aiming. At the end of each level, this reminded me of like a Mario 3 thing where you had the things running and you'd run and you try to hit the thing so you match all the things up.
I see.
So in this, you're trying to go and shoot through the rings that are spinning to get maximum things. Watching a flat screen version of the robots flying into your controller does nothing. The world literally comes alive in your headset. And I couldn't help but think of, if you wondered what it would feel like to dodge a bullet bill coming at you in Mario or climbing up a vine, this game is the closest that you'll probably get for some time on feeling like you're in a world. It's a fantastic little platformer. See, the guys you just got go up. And if I told you, remember in the beginning, I said your spaceship got blown up. There's just enough of the spaceship alive to where when you get your guys, they can go back and they can kind of start rebuilding. Yeah,
that's cool.
And the spaceship, this is a new mechanic too. I'm glad that you're showing this. In the original version, you just played the Astro Bot guy. Mm-hmm. In this version, you get to headbutt things that come at you in the screen, which you have to do, like it just showed, in order for your guy to progress. So that's super cool. Now, if somebody walks by your room and you're just headbutting the air, they won't know what you're doing. It may look funny.
That's always the glorious thing about VR.
So they start off with little simple things like headbutt this wall. Well, you got to think now they can hide the robots in the walls that you have to headbutt. Also, that incorporates a new thing, maybe like a bee who wants to come sting you, that you have to headbutt after you dodge the bee or it's going to crack your VR headset and you can't see for a minute. Super cool. This thing here, when you throw little balls, they find ways to incorporate your touchpad in many kind of cool little ways, and throwing the balls are very accurate, super fun. This level scared me. It's called, basically it's implying that it's going to be high. And if you look around, it's in the sky. It's crazy tall. One of my favorite levels that had height was a beanstalk level. So that was the first time that you felt like when you got to a certain point, you were raised and you felt like you were raising with the beanstalk because of the sensation, of course, that the VR puts on you, right?
Any nausea, any dizziness?
Only on this level right at first, because that first level was so basic.
Yeah.
They come right into this. I think this is level 1.
They just throw you right in there.
Yeah. And it's cool because you always see a version of what you are. In this video we're watching, you see a shadow of a bigger looking robot. That's you.
You're mommy.
Yeah, you're like a mommy robot, exactly. Or, a daddy or whatever. And things are so well hidden, well placed. When you catch, you look around and you go, okay, how am I going to get to that point? I know the game's going to take me there. I can't wait to see how exactly that happens.
What do these coin type things do?
They're exactly, kind of what they are. They're coins that you spin. Eventually, when the spaceship, this is not a spoiler because it happens relatively quick, gets its kind of first piece back together, you're able to access the spaceship, and it incorporates something that you did in the previous version of the PS Playroom VR, where you can go into the spaceship, see all of the different characters that you bought, and you're able to purchase like upgrades for the ship. They had one mode where you, what's the machine called where you have the claw that drops down and you get like prizes?
That vending machine thing?
Yeah. Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
The only machine I know is Brett, what's his face, the comedian.
That's really funny. But in this one, you would spend some coins. Your Astro Bot would become the claw, and it would go down and grab things that would fix up your house or your spaceship or whatever. This is one of those times where you have to drop way down. And
it's interesting that propel feature from your feet. That's an interesting mechanic. It seems like it's doing multiple things. It helps you with this world turning. It helps you gauge exactly where you're going to land, so there's not as much frustration. That's a good idea,
and it helps. And it helps
you gauge perspective.
It can kill enemies too. So by just kind of hovering over them, you can. They got these little jump pads that it's just fun to jump on a jump pad. Like, look how fun that looks. Imagine seeing that, right? Super crazy fun. My favorite level was very early on. It was a cave level. So it's the first time you get to see
a Cave of Wonders?
It felt like it. It had glowing, really colorful, glowing mushrooms in it.
Yeah, that makes me dizzy just looking at that.
You hear me though?
Yeah.
Really glowy, and it was gorgeous. The PSVR is able to harness something in it to where when a dark level, when the lighting's very dark but the colors are very vibrant, it's a beautiful sight. Moss captured that for me. Star Child, the demo I played for that, captured that for me. They're really bright neon-y colors. Looks super cool. This game takes you to multiple locations, from space to a beach to one of the coolest things, like underwater, which I was playing actually last night with Ryan Leaf of the show and Mike Slade, and I actually went underwater. And it's very cool because, again, they incorporate a little thing with your touchpad that you got to do to get the boat going, and then eventually the boat gets on tracks, and then eventually you're underwater. And then seeing the water rise above you like it would if you went underwater, the audio in your ears change, and then all of a sudden you're in the water. Very tropical-ish. Yeah, I mean, the level designs I can't speak enough on.
It looks solid.
The gameplay is phenomenal. It's easily a must-own for your PlayStation VR, and you have hope when a game like this comes out because, one, it was fan-driven. You wanted it. The studio recognized that the demand was there. I mean, look at that. You have to look around that wall to know that you have to walk back that way.
Yeah,
right?
I think this is the kind of thing that, like, when I see the potential of VR, it's like because it's something truly new. It's kind of like when 3D platforming and all that came out. Like, you just didn't know what was possible until someone did something, right? And we're in that stage now where finally some developers have had some time to have these tools, and now they're like asking, well, what if we tried this? And of course, not everything is going to be like amazing or great like this is, right?
Right.
But you see what happens when someone does try something new and it does work and it feels right and it's well put together.
Well, so let me ask you this. We've talked about on the show this game and Moss. Mm-hmm. And it seemed when VR was pitched as an idea, the initial theory behind it was you are that person in the VR world. And do you think these games going forward, these types of games, are a good compromise to going forward? Or it seems like your first person experience is an observer of the third person character rather than you being the person.
That's absolutely, that's perfectly said. Because it does seem like the games where you're controlling said dude running around, and you're like in Moss, you were a shadowy figure that glowed when you looked at yourself in the water, right? Mm-hmm. And in this game, you're Mama Robot, so to speak. They work. Look how good that looks on the world. Like that. Yeah. That looks super. That looks like Mario Galaxy.
Looks like a cross between Mario and Little Big Planet.
This next world, very early on, is my favorite world in the whole game. Okay. And he's about to go into it. It's super.
Actually, he's about to stop.
Oh.
It seems like this has become, like this one and Moss has become like the compromise that seems to get critics on board, that seems to be going, critics seem to be flocking to these types of games. Not to say that Skyrim and Resident Evil aren't successful, but it seems like people are really embracing the observer type involvement with VR as opposed to you being the actual avatar in VR.
That's not necessarily true.
Well, I see what he's saying. And what it does is it lets you like almost like, and I said it with Moss, like when Dumbledore had his pensive and you put your head in the world.
Yeah.
It does that
makes
brilliantly.
Sense.
So
yeah. I think it's like with things, again, like when I think of Doom and Skyrim, I remind myself, I'm like, those aren't games that were made with VR in mind. And
First
I think
and foremost, right?
Yeah, it's obvious. It's like, you're like, you want this, right? And it's like, well, you want the idea of it. You just don't think about how it's built. But then you go and you play things like Accounting Plus or Rick and Morty, the Robo Recall, Star Trek Bridge Commander and things like that. Those are the ones like when you play in first person, you're like, oh, it's very clear you designed this with that in mind, to be a head that is here and this is your body. But I also wonder like what it's going to be when you finally do have this sense of like full body tracking, right? Or even a sense of maybe human interaction, like where it gives kind of like when you're holding a controller and you feel rumble for the first time back when that came out,
right?
Like where you're like, whoa, that's a real thing, you know. It gives me that sensation that there's something going on. Yeah, like they need that with VR. That's the next big thing.
Yeah,
I think.
I mean, I think you know what happens at the end of quote unquote the end of console cycles. They harness the best things that they ever did because they've worked with the technology long enough to where now they know how to really make things look phenomenal.
Right.
I think and I know that the PSVR library is growing. It's not stopping, which is fantastic for me.
Creed was actually a bestseller on VR.
You can't help but be nervous. Now, it's not growing like the regular console titles and all that stuff, but it's growing. A game like a Creed came out, which was a PSVR game. This game came out. Tetris VR is still going to come out.
Really?
Yeah. Ooh. The Beat Saber game came to PSVR.
Everyone likes that Tetris game from what I've read.
And I think the games where you're the thing, John, I think they work better when they're a shooter or when you hold the move controllers and you're doing something like a Beat Saber game.
Well, when I talk about, and I haven't played, obviously, was it Farpoint? I think is called.
Yeah.
Like the game that I played on Chris's Oculus, where those mechanical bugs were jumping on you. What was that called? Robo something?
Robo Recall.
See, it seemed like with those types of games, you're still having to compromise, particularly with mobility, like Chris said. In order to get to a certain spot on the screen, you have to sort of laser point to it.
And that's how
you get there.
That's how Doom is.
With these types of games,
you don't.
You're in that third person. You're manipulating somebody in the world as an observer.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do that kind of compromise. So it's almost like VR developers have embraced this type of game to push it forward, and I don't know, make it more.
Well, the game I bought before this was called Firewall 0 Hour, and it was a shooter-based first-person shooter game. Very simple. It's online only, 4-man teams, and your intent was to go find the firewall so you could hack a computer, and it's just 4v4 battle, right? And you are holding a gun, and you are the guy running. The way that works is you don't necessarily point and click. You run around like you do on this game with your control pads. It's just more about how do I get around this corner as fast as this guy? How do I turn better? That works. Doom VR or VFR for me kind of missed the mark for me because it was the point and click Doom game. That was nice. But you know what I'm saying? With Doom, when you play Doom, you wanted to run and go.
Yeah.
Doom VFR,
because that's Doom.
There's the step. Let me aim here, push the button, and now I'm zapped to there. And then turn right, aim there, zap to there. That didn't work for me. So it was kind of a miss. But a game like this, I'm going to tell you right now, a $39.99 price point.
That's a pretty good deal.
That is a good deal.
The replayability is freaking amazing. I hinted that the arm that you saw that comes over and grabs that thing, a huge, big gorilla arm. He is what they call a boss. And this game has, literally, he's a world, like each world has bosses. And that's the first time you have boss fights, obviously, because in the Playroom VR version, you didn't. The boss fight was amazing. The elements that you have to do, you're avoiding this happening and this happening to get to this, to now use your touchpad to swipe and dodge and pull and chunk, and it's you feel like you're in a fight. It's super, super fun. It's got a trophy system, obviously. Most of them are hidden. You can obviously go on YouTube or Google and find out what all of them are. Yeah. So the trophy hunters can find them. You saw, and we talked about a hidden chameleon in each level. You literally have to turn and look for these things. They pop up on the wall, which unlocks special secret level stuff. Super cool, right? I really like this game. It's a solid VR game.
If you had a Richard, how big would it be?
I tried to think about how I'm gonna, give a Richard on VR. Should I have a
Metacritic sits it up in the 90s right now, I believe.
Yeah. For me, it's what I'm saying is like my normal scale: Spider-Man, God of War.
Hey, it's you.
I know.
However you feel.
Do you remember what I gave Moss?
No.
I don't.
I don't remember what you said last week, let alone what you said.
I think I gave Moss like a 9 or 9.5.
Better than Moss?
It's Spider-Man and God of War, right? It's a different kind of game. I did think about Moss when I went into the cave area because Moss was very cavey, fantasy-ish with like, what are the things called that are sticks on fire on a wall, John?
Torch?
Yeah, like the torches and stuff. I love that kind of stuff, and Moss delivered very well. I'll give it at least a 9. It's a 9. I got you. It's a must own if you own a PSVR. Mm-hmm. You have to buy this game.
Do it.
$39.99. If you have a VR that's got dust on it, dust it off. Yeah. Send me a friend invite, and let's have some fun. So.
Nice. There you go.
I love it. Thank you guys for letting me cover a VR game.
Hey, no.
It is the filler week before RDF.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have been totally engaged. Never once have I looked away to look at anything else going on.
Have you seen this?
Yeah, this is insane.
I don't think it works like that, but it's still cool to see.
That's so cool.
I wonder how they got that past, like, PETA.
Well, remember the first one? The first one, he would just sit down and you hear,
yeah,
and you'd be like, "Oh, your gut smell terrible," and then you'd have a pelt. So,
John, I'm not gonna lie to you. I want both of y'all to come over and play this game. I want people to play Astro Bot. I promoted the heck out of it just in its basic little VR world thing. I said it's like playing Mario in VR, bro. You gotta play it. And
I want to come over and play Resident Evil.
We could Brad, friend of the show, friend in real life, Brad. He for his birthday, he got a VR bundle that was the Moss and Astro Bot bundle, which is a heck of a bundle.
That's
right?
A good deal. Yeah.
And I did notice, by the way, that Sony has put out several PlayStation bundles. There was a Creed bundle that came with joysticks and it was basically the Essentials bundle.
No kidding.
With 2 games. One was Creed and the other one was some other game, but we'll see. If they start doing that, they keep bringing games out, the VR is going to have a life cycle that hopefully translates to a VR2 with the PS5. I think that would be great. I would love it. I would be on board.
VR2 with the PS5.
Yeah.
So apparently,
ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome for that amazing game review. Yeah.
Have you ever seen Chris so obsessed about anything?
He's only obsessed because we're not.
No, I've been waiting 10 years.
I've been waiting for a game.
They might as well
like
just
you.
Release reviews.
Thursday at 7 a.m.
You mentioned that the Astro Bot reviews were pretty good. Like you said,
good. I feel like it was a 92 on Metacritic. That might
it was
be
like,
my
90, 92, somewhere in there. I don't know if it's
solid,
dropping.
dude. I'm telling you, it's a go get it.
Tap notch. But Shaun,
do you have a virus?
No.
Oh,
that's just rare. Shaun,
yeah.
Thanks for taking one for the team.
Well, yeah,
carrying the torch this week.
Yeah. It allowed you to catch up on some Assassin's Creed completion, hopefully.
Yeah.
Or at least closer.
Well, see, the problem is that, right, we're doing this tonight, and afterwards we'll go eat, and I have to edit. So I might get like 1 more hour in tonight. Tomorrow night, I get to play a little bit, but then I go to my parents for dinner, and then I go to trivia with them. That's what I do every Wednesday.
Right.
I'll get back around 9:30, 10. Depends on how much I've had to drink if I'm going to play anymore. And then Thursday night, I feel like I'm going to get off work, and because, as we said, I got the digital version because I wanted preload, because apparently this is the first 2-disc game in the history of this generation.
Yeah, what was the last 2-disc game that you had?
The last
Metal Gear.
Was it Mass Effect?
The last one I had was GTA 5.
Was that a 2-disc?
On PS3 and Xbox 360, yeah, you had the data disc and you had the main disc, and it's the same way with this one.
Wait, GTA 5?
Yeah. Remember? Because it
originally came out last year.
Shut your face. I'm doing a thing.
I didn't see it.
But
sorry.
it was this game that everything else ran from 5 years ago. and then it became apparently the best-selling non-bundled game of all time.
Is GTA 5 still on the MPD stuff?
Until next month, probably.
Yeah, it probably won't be there next month. But it'll be back. It'll be back in January.
Dude, everybody loves that kind of game.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
Where you can ride around.
Terry. Well, we'll see. Like I was saying, I cleared the way for you to finish Assassin's Creed. You didn't.
Yeah.
I cleared the way for John the Fish. He did.
It's a freaking long game. It's like
you watched football. And
sure, but I played. I mean, all Sunday. That was all I did.
Yeah.
I'm up to like almost 60 hours now of gameplay, and I mean, I've done things that John's only dreamed about doing in that game.
John, I'll bring the VR to your house.
And yet I have 60 hours in.
You hear me?
Yeah.
So it's like I just walk around.
You hear me?
Exactly.
I'll bring it to your house for you to see Astro Bot.
Really?
Yeah.
My favorite level, the cave level with the glowing mushrooms.
Ooh.
Why don't you want me in your house?
You can. I just didn't want you to come all the way over there if you didn't feel like it.
Okay.
I was bringing VR to you, and I'll bring it on my motorcycle.
Bringing VR to the
Your
masses.
motorcycle?
Yeah.
Wear it.
But ladies and gentlemen,
On the motorcycle.
if you want to be like me, play Astro Bot and go watch Ozark.
Okay. Well, let's do some news.
All right.
Hot off the press and straight to your ears. Weekly Games Chat presents the news.
News
From the future.
They're just stealing people's lives.
It's fine. Who went first last week? Johnny Bear?
That's what she said. What? I don't know.
Do you remember? Let's look at the show notes from last
Now
week.
Penny's howling because of that. That's hilarious.
I can go first if you want.
Sure, do it.
Let's get this started.
Let's get it started and
Let me check on out.
So
Much like Days Gone.
Ooh,
Days Gone has been delayed.
What?
Days Gone has been delayed until April 26th of 2019. In a PlayStation blog, marketing vice president Asad Kizibash said that Sony, quote, decided to move the release of Days Gone from the crowded February timeframe. While the studio is eager to see Days Gone in the hands of fans, Sony Ben Studio will take the opportunity to further polish Days Gone. When he says February's crowded, what is that? Anthem?
It was
Anthem?
okay. So right now, before this was moving, right on February 28th, at least at this point, it was Crackdown 3.
Crackdown, yeah. Right.
Metro, whatever,
Exodus,
the new one. Yeah,
2.
that's there. Anthem and this. So it's like, you knew someone was going to run. I'm not surprised it was them.
I was surprised because I would think it would be Metro that would run.
Metro should run. I don't think Crackdown should run too, but I don't think Crackdown can run at this point because it's like the end of the quarter. And really, there's no other good point. Like, you see how far back they had to delay it because March is packed next year too.
And plus, I don't know, I mean, it's still January, but Resident Evil 2 is late in January. So, yeah, it's like the new holiday.
Yeah, well,
After the holiday, right?
it's like you get a 1 month reprieve and then back to it.
Yeah, I mean, that's cool, though. I mean, I wish they would treat summer months like they're starting to treat January and February. Showing it some love. But anyway, that's
Take
okay.
some of them February games, move them to June. Make me
maybe.
happy.
I mean, Last of Us was June, wasn't it?
Yeah, or actually even
The
more
original.
so July. Because there's never... I think the last game I played that was like a huge release in July was NCAA football, which of course doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Come back, please.
Well, I mean,
I have no...
Speaking of
I got you, right?
okay.
Speaking of EA.
You know that Ben Studio probably feels good about leaving that February, release date. You got to wonder if Jade Raymond feels good for leaving EA.
You think?
I doubt it.
That's right. Motive Studio founder Jade Raymond has left the company, according to Electronic Arts. Raymond was previously at Ubisoft Montreal
Ubi.
after a long tenure and was a producer on the original Assassin's Creed game. According to EA, quote, with this change, Jade Raymond has decided to leave Electronic Arts. In her time with us, Jade helped to build great teams, and our projects underway at Motives and other studios continue unchanged. We're appreciative of all her efforts, and we wish Jade all the best as she moves on to her next adventure. We are driving greater creativity in everything we do across EA Studios, and we'll look forward to sharing more in the months to come, end quote.
There was a larger part to this quote, and I think it seemed to kind of hint that they also promoted someone from BioWare to have a bigger role at that studio. And the way it was worded on there, it sounded like more they decided to do that, and as in response, Jade has decided to leave the company. Kind of like...
Did they not like the BioShock person?
No, I think what it is like the BioShock person was a big producer, and it was like, hey, you know, when you're that popular, right, you're upcoming talent, you have to decide, do you keep a person and promote them, or do you let them walk potentially to a different studio, to a competitor, right? So if that's the case, it kind of sucks, right? Because you're letting go one of the best people in the industry, I think, from at least the last 15 years. But who knows? Maybe it's time for her to kind of do the Ken Levine thing and just wander in the desert and find what she wants to do, and whatever it is, just build it up from the bottom.
I'm sure there's a place for her somewhere.
Yeah.
She's too high profile.
She.
Speaking of high profile,
You can just say it. Just say the title.
why you gotta tear me down?
I'm not, no, because I mean,
Tear me down.
It's not you.
Tear me down,
It's not you.
I
It's
like
me.
being torn down.
No, you do. What?
Games as service model
So you're an S or an M? Wait, what?
profitable for EA and Activision. Go figure. According to a report from DFC Intelligence, the games as a service the games as a service trend popularized by Activision and EA is very lucrative and likely here to stay. The two companies have grown by $79 billion collectively. That's together.
All together, right?
Since 2012. Games as a service represents any title that receives post-launch content and updates. For example, this includes Madden, FIFA, and Destiny 2, etc. Games as a service will continue to grow into 2019 with the release of Anthem and The Division 2.
Oh, yeah. When does Division 2 come out?
Actually, that's also
like
February.
March. Yeah, February.
Early March.
I think it's February.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Oh, I got you.
You got it? But you have to, I mean, this specifically calls out EA. You have to, I don't know.
No, well, what?
They dug them, I don't mean call out as a negative.
Yeah.
But
Sure sounded like it.
EA dug themselves a hole, I guess, with Battlefront, and with Battlefield, they're completely skipping making money
March 15th.
off this as games as service.
But they've been making money.
No. It's like you have to give credit to getting rid of, not getting rid, but it's like a temporary hold on what is a very lucrative thing for EA, because they're not releasing any paid continued service for Battlefield. It's all going to be free content updates.
Yeah, but the way they're going to get everyone is they're going to be like, oh, get this skin, get that skin, get these things. They'll have the Battlefield premium thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, everyone's moving towards that model, right?
Yeah,
like, that's what we're
Fortnite.
seeing. It's really been like, Activision has been the biggest holdout lately of this whole entire pay for every expansion.
You wouldn't know it by their profits.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not to say people don't pay for them, but it's kind of like the other ones have kind of figured out, oh, hey, this makes everything better, and we can make money, so why not just
give
this?
that man his money.
Give him his money. But I'll be interested. I mean, like, the thing with this one, Call of Duty is kind of potentially set up to finally maybe be that one that starts to change, right? Because now that they have Blackout, you wonder in a year's time, what are you going to do with that?
Did we talk? We talked about this last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was
Maybe
going nuts.
Yeah, did we talk?
Yeah, we did, because we were like,
what is the formula for Call of Duty going forward? Do they lock Battle Royale every year behind the $60 paywall?
Yeah, I think that would be chaos for them.
They've got to split them up.
Yeah,
they've got to reincorporate. They've got to reincorporate the single player with the multiplayer, and then do the Battle Royale separate. They got to. They's got to.
Yeah, I agree.
Now if they could just do it with Madden.
It's not going to happen.
If I could just get a new Madden.
If I could turn back time.
I'd be so happy if I just got like
I don't know why I did the things I did. I don't know why.
No, shut it down. We don't have the rights. We don't have the rights.
Is that the real
Shut it
words,
down.
though?
Something like that.
I don't know.
What's the words?
Cher will still sue us.
Cher
Cher will still sue us.
Flows like a night, it cuts deep in
No.
Words lie like weapons, they wound
I
sometimes.
Be the next thing.
I didn't really mean to hurt you.
I'll do it again. Mute him.
Oh, you don't know his volume. You messed up.
No, his volume's fine.
I know I made you cry.
Anyways, but I would be happy to have a Madden game every 2 years, and then I'd just pay $20 for like the new
roster update.
Exactly, that would make me happy.
But what about the new stuff they bring, like tackles and pockets and stuff?
I don't need that every year. I can take that every other year.
What about coach animations and stuff?
Coach animation. Look at the way he threw that clipboard.
I just say things, bruh.
Oh, you probably need me to go.
Yeah, like I'm just hanging out here until I can say things like overtime is now optional.
Ooh.
If I could work overtime.
Kotaku has reported that Rockstar Lincoln has decided to switch their system of mandatory overtime to voluntary, following the controversial. How do you say that? Like I say, controversy.
Controversial.
Controversial.
Yeah, you got it right.
Yeah. Comment of employees working mandatory 100-hour work weeks. It was previously revealed that overtime was never mandatory, but was part of a system that involved requesting and scheduling overtime by bosses, but employees could always say no.
No.
According to Rockstar's head of publishing, Jen Kolb, quote, I'm going to go with Kolb. Cool.
Idiot.
You're dumb. Quote, through the conversations we've been having, it's clear to us that the requested scheduled overtime felt like an obligation to some, if not many, of the team. We therefore spoke to them to make sure it is clear that the OT is not mandatory. End quote.
I wonder if this was done because today, like a couple hours before the show, Jason Schreier dropped his Rockstar like crunch time piece, and it is a doozy. It is a long one, big read if you want. So I feel like maybe they were trying to get ahead of that.
Did you look at it?
I don't.
Oh, I read it. Yeah,
What's
I read it.
What is he saying?
I mean, there's
the
a lot of
gist.
mix.
Thank you.
The gist.
There was a lot of mix there, and he's like, "Look, it's very controversial. Controversial, because it's a wide range of opinions." And I think the one thing I really took away of all of them, it sounds like Rockstar New York, which is where I think like Dan Houser and all of them are at. That seems to be the worst of them.
What would be the most damning thing that a employee might have said?
The big thing I got was a lot of them say it's BS when they say overtime was not mandatory, because he's like, basically, if you weren't putting 60 to 80 hours in during certain points, they're like, everyone's going to give you a bad look. You know, they're not. It is this expectation that you're going to be there and never, like, there are even some that are talking like, look, they like it when you work to dinner, so 7:30 p.m., right? And they're like, if you haven't done that in a couple of weeks, they take note of it. They have charts out there where it's like anyone who wasn't working 60 on that chart, right? And as far as hours logged, it would put big red under. So it's like, yeah, it's not mandatory necessarily. Sometimes it is. But it's just this expectation of we're trying to do great things, and without saying something, if you want to get ahead, if you want to have success here, you're going to have to do it. I almost took it like, I think I talked about this movie last week, Whiplash, right? How that's this school where everyone's under this pressure in this movie because they want to be great. And you see, like, there's two groups of people, like the really few that are committed to wanting to be great, and they'll take the abuse from this one really abusive instructor because they want to be great. And then you have the others who just break down, they quit, and they can't take it. And that seems to be how it is here. Like, you're going to figure out if you belong in this culture. And I think the reason why a lot of these people who end up doing it, even though they had complaints, like there were a number that said, like, yes, there are problems here, but they came back and said, I love the culture, right? And I think the reason they do it is, one, they all understand having the words Rockstar on your resume with Red Dead Redemption or GTA 5, right, and you were a lead person in that, is pretty much a golden ticket to do what you want in the gaming industry, but 2, because they are creators, and they want to be able to say, hey, we put out something that no one else could create. And then probably the third thing, so the salary people, of course, they don't get paid overtime. We all don't, who are salary. That's just a fact of life. So the incentive for them is this. If the game does exceptionally well, they do give bonuses to their salaried employees. And they said, like, pretty much with every major release that they've had outside of Max Payne 3, they said was the only time in the last 10 years where it hasn't happened. The bonuses pretty much hit around mid 5-figure range. So you're talking like, $50,000 bonuses for the year your game ships. So there is kind of compensation to some back. But I think the main takeaway is that it's a complex issue. Mm-hmm. You get diverse opinions, and it's like, you go, well, could this be better? Like Rockstar doesn't have a great history with this. They had a lot of complaints with the first Red Dead, as far as crunch and things like that. But I think at the same time, I don't think it's fair to say that like these people feel like they're being
abused.
Yeah, like they're that. There's probably some that definitely do. Like there was one person who said like, I literally had mental issues and I started heavily drinking because I was working 70 hours a week.
Sure.
And I did it for 6 months.
Know what you can handle and know what you can't. While it shouldn't be mandatory that you work overtime, you should also know that while it's not mandatory, jobs like these and jobs across the board, they're merit-based jobs. If you put 70 hours in, you're going to get the promotion, and the guy who decided who doesn't have to do the overtime, he's not going to get the promotion. Mm-hmm. Or she. I mean, that's just how it works. And look, no disrespect to anybody right now. It's just, I really just honestly think it's a story in search of a controversy. I really do.
I'm sure they all hope it's better. Like that was one thing I also got from people who are like, well, why are you speaking on? They're like, look, I just hope it improves because it, like everyone says, like it was really bad for the first Red Dead. And they seem to say it was nowhere near as bad this time as opposed to last time, right? So the hope is like, well, if we've gotten better from that time because we spoke out, maybe again it will help to improve and make things a little bit better than they were before. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a very important piece. It is a very long piece. I urge everyone to go check it out. I think Jason, for the most part, does his best to be fair.
I'm sure he does.
And yeah, reflecting everyone.
I mean, the people who work in my profession, and when I say my profession, the profession I'm around, I'm not necessarily saying like I'm a professional in profession, but the people who work in my profession, if they worked 40 hours and stopped, they get fired.
Sure.
Because the circumstances surrounding what they do, mm-hmm. they don't take the things that they do in public relations don't stop just because 5 o'clock hits. The story is still the story. The PR that the company's experiencing is still happening at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. And I think that's a lot. I think that's across the board with so many professions. But across the board, it doesn't stop just because 5 o'clock hits.
Sure. So,
and if you're a salary leveled employee, you have to have that level of expectation.
Sure. But I would ask this. I mean, because it's a fair point. Like, on average, though, like, have they had stretches of, say, 6 months to 7 months where every week they're working 60 to 70 to 80 hours?
Yep. Yes, sir.
And are they some of the highest paid people at their company? Like, is a regular?
That's not something I can answer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, are they high level people? Like, are they regular salaried employees? Like standard base, or are they like consultants? Are they VPs?
Yes to all your questions. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately,
that's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, they don't take into consideration what your level is.
Yeah. Because like I could see different parts in our company where I'm like, for instance, mine, like if I was told for 7 months I had to work 80 hours a week, I'd probably ask myself what's worth, right? But on the other hand, if I was working for Rockstar, that's a completely different conversation because then I'm making something. I'm not just putting a product out, right? I'm trying to make art or something. And Those are very different things. The other thing is,
there's another thing?
Yeah, the other thing I will say is, and I think this is why you see this, like the widespread, is Dan Houser and I can't remember the other guy who's the head of Rockstar. They can say like overtime's not mandatory. Shaun, you and I both know this. That doesn't mean that there's not a manager out there who doesn't know that, and they're just going to press their people.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's Dan Houser who has to hear about it because he said 100 hours in a quote.
Sure.
You know? That's the part that sucks. But anyway,
I've been in jobs where it's like, no, you don't have to.
Yeah, we all were in the same
No, it's
area.
just
starting
But it
out.
doesn't mean it doesn't show up on your eval.
Yeah. Or
Team player.
In a relationship with a spouse. Oh, a wife. Yeah, like you go right ahead, honey. You go ahead.
It doesn't mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shaun's going to go home tonight, so it's time for your yearly review. What?
What happened? You know what else comes out on Friday? Something else does.
Something I'm not going to check out for a while.
What? Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Friday?
Yeah.
I thought it was today.
Maybe it is today.
Or, this week, I should say. Let's retract the word Friday and say this week.
All right, Rebecca Black.
Spider-Man New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Insomniac Games has released a New Game Plus mode for Marvel's Spider-Man. Not Spider-Man. Marvel's Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man.
This will include a new difficulty level as well. New Game Plus should give players your unlocks. Let me try that again. New Game Plus should give players, quote, your unlocked suits, skills, gadgets, mods, and benchmarks from the beginning, end quote. They have also confirmed that arrival of, quote,
ultimate difficulty!
Ultimate.
End quote. For those looking for an additional challenge, as Shaun clearly is. In addition, new content featuring Black Cat is supposed to arrive this week.
Yep.
She's so hot. She is.
I liked her part in the game, too. I was
that.
like, oh, okay, so there's a reason why they didn't release this right now. It was a good setup.
It was an interesting story mission.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it wasn't a story mission. It was a
It was a side quest.
It was integrated within the main story.
It was a quest within the game. Therefore, to me, it was part of a story.
At some point, I'm going to collect all the additional content for this game because I
love this game.
I really loved not just the game, but I loved all the suits. I just loved having.
Agreed.
It's just something that was.
I think
fresh.
it's one of those things where, even though I know they're putting out every couple of weeks, where for the next couple of months on content, something like that, and I feel like I'll probably be this way with Assassin's Creed, even though I've already got the DLC. I'm like, let me just wait, and then I can come back and say January of next year and be like, oh, by the way, now I have 12 additional hours of Spider-Man to play.
Yep.
Now I can do, instead of it being like, all right, got these 2 hours this week, and move on. Yeah,
You're gonna hate it.
that's just not true.
You know what else he's going to hate?
Oh, he already
this
hates
troll.
it.
This is the biggest troll.
He
of the week.
already.
I was like, I know why you put this on. Dang. Did you get beans with that 10-inch sausage? Anyways, go.
Oh, we're gonna need a minute.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Black
Ops.
He already hates Black Ops 4, and now that it's the most anticipated
7.5.
game of holiday season, the recently released Call of Duty Black Ops 4 topped the list of 2018's most anticipated games for this holiday. Business Insider reported on the UBS survey based on responses from 5,000 plus consumers aged 18 to 44.
30,000 or 30%, which work for Ubisoft.
In the US, UK, Germany, aka Deutschland, Japan, and China. Following COD was Assassin's Creed, followed by Red Dead Redemption 2.
The reason I put this in here was not a troll.
No.
The reason I put it in was because I had no idea that Assassin's Creed was even part of the conversation this year.
Yeah, I looked at it and I was like,
That
this
was
is really weird.
that's what I thought was that's what popped out to me, was not how Red Dead placed third. I mean, distant third. That's the troll. But the fact that the Assassin's Creed was not only third or fourth, I mean, I guess I would have been surprised by that, but literally right after Call of Duty. I'm going to have to see proof of that.
I bet you anything that Red Dead Redemption outsells Assassin's Creed this holiday season.
Maybe.
I'll take that bet right now. You can put whatever you want on it, and I'll take it. You want to go to Epic, John? Want to put that on the table?
I'm good, man. I
Come
told
at
you,
me, bro.
I told you this was surprising to me. Why would I put money on it? There's no need to.
I don't know, but I do know that if they fix, if like I say an update was coming out for like online play on Black Ops, that would really set that game like to the next level. Because
Isn't that you who's supposed to read this? Oh, no,
Is
you
it
read
me?
the last one. Yeah, it's him.
Oh, my bad. You were talking.
Here's the ball.
did you hear me?
And
Yeah, I was
here it
pulling
is.
up my notes, getting ready.
Kind of
Oh,
like...
so you know what would really set Black Ops 4 off the chain? It would be if I didn't have like latency and stuff, because you really do play.
kind of like this hit.
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
Oh, swing and a miss.
several updates coming for Black Ops 4. I'm not even reading this.
You have to.
Oh, you're right.
Treyarch is working on plans to... Oh.
He wants back.
That's
He
too,
wants
can't
it
have
back.
Every now and then I jump in.
Treyarch is working on plans to correct network latency being experienced by many players that are keeping them from fully enjoying online multiplayer modes. Quote, for a game launch with as massive a population as ours, hitting so many global servers at once, we configure our infrastructure to ensure game stability as the highest priority over other factors. Now that we are past the initial launch of the game, we are focusing on fine-tuning network performance across the globe using the real-world data that we have collected. Over the course of the next 2 weeks, we will roll out several updates to our network setup that will continue to improve upon the experience of our players since launch, end quote. Chris
make the game
and
good?
Shaun, did you experience this
Yes,
type
that's
of
why I
wait?
said
Oh,
what I
yeah.
said. And I get the in-game stability bullcrap line, but there was like
Call of
alphas
Duty.
and betas, and I don't remember the last time that a launch like this was this bad.
I don't feel bad for him at all because guess what? It is Call of Duty. It's not like with the core mode, especially the multiplayer, that they did something unique or like hardcore game changing. So it's like you have this refined thing. You have all that money. There is no excuse in my mind why you have that many problems with your servers.
What stood out to me last week was you guys were talking about a certain mode. You were spawning into the mode and immediately getting shot
Yeah,
down.
the main multiplayer.
I thought that was something they were going to try to fix. But
And they kind of have ish. You okay? That arm thing again?
it hurts.
You shouldn't have shook that.
The shoulder.
He was shaking the old Parmesan cheese today, and he hurt his shoulder.
That sounded
That's what he calls. That's what he calls a Richard.
The
Parmesan
old
cheese.
Parmesan.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not gonna matter anyways because after Friday, no one's gonna be playing this
That's not a
game.
true statement. Let's call a spade, Chris. Not true.
Hey, you know what is true?
Xbox One adds 4 classic games. That's right.
And John can't spell ass.
John is dumb. 4 Xbox 360 era Valve games have now been made available on Xbox One X. Microsoft announced that Half-Life 2, The Orange Box, Portal, still alive, Left 4 Dead, and Left 4 Dead 2 have all received the Xbox One X enhancement.
So now they got 9 billion teraflops.
Are you excited about this, Chris? Because you're the first person I thought of.
I mean,
When I think of the orange box, I think of Chris.
Yeah, and Jeff Sanders.
that's a great game. Am I excited? No, because I've got all these games and I've played them all, and I would probably play them on PC now, anyways. But if you've never played Half-Life 2 or Portal or Left 4 Dead, or definitely Left 4 Dead 2, like,
What are you waiting for, right?
yeah, I mean, this is a good excuse if you want to check out some of the best things. If you want to know why everyone's pissed off at Valve for the fact they haven't made Half-Life 3, go play those games. And then play Portal, and then definitely play Portal 2, which I believe was already on backwards compatibility.
Cool, man.
You know, John's
Just
John being so off point kind of makes me want to scale back expectations. He'll get this set
You
up
know,
right.
somebody else I heard was scaling back expectations.
Yeah, I was waiting for the layout.
shtick.
Yeah. Blizzard
What?
is scaling back
Shut your face.
expectations,
Wow.
it would appear.
Okay.
A new post from Blizzard is suggesting that BlizzCon 2018 might not be the right time to expect new Diablo announcements. Quote, we've seen a lot of rumors flying around about our plans for Diablo at the show. These are very exciting times. We currently have multiple teams working on different Diablo projects, and we can't wait to tell you about them when the time is right, end quote. It's important to note that while this is a tempering of expectations, there will still be some, quote, some Diablo-related news, quote, at the show. To me, this doesn't read as a full denial.
No.
It really doesn't.
It's a denial.
We could...
What does that mean, Chris?
That's a famous thing from All the President's Men, where basically when the Washington Post was trying to get the White House, the White House would say something, but they wouldn't. They would say basically they would deny something that the Post was not actually saying. So like it was a non-denial denial.
Yeah, I feel like they could tell you during the announcements, yeah, Diablo 4 is a thing.
I would laugh if their big announcement.
That's all people want anyway. Tell me it's a thing.
Yeah. I would laugh, though, if their announcement, because they're trying to roll back and temper expectations, is, by the way, Diablo 3 is coming to Google Pixel.
Yeah, they're like, hey, guys, hey, calm down.
Well, I can tell you about somebody who didn't temper expectations.
You can't do that.
I just
because
did.
I got to go
read it.
He's got to do this.
Finally this week.
Now I can say it.
Wait. Before I do this, you know what my big hope for Red Dead is? Is that secretly the storyline is very much like Brokeback, and there's a part where he goes, this thing grabs a hold of us in public. And then there's a mission where I go into a trailer and Randy Quaid's there and he goes, I didn't pay you to stem the roads while you're up there.
Chris, I wish I knew how to quit you.
I wish I knew how to quit you, jackass where. But finally this week.
Corey Barlog at PAX. Yeah, that's what we're ending the show with, guys.
John, we need to talk about your placement of items for the final thing.
God of War director Corey Barlog is set to deliver the opening, quote, story time keynote at PAX South 2019 in San Antonio, Texas. Barlog joined Santa Monica as an animator on the original God of War and wrote and directed God of War 2. He later left Santa Monica to work for LucasArts
and Crystal Dynamics.
The reason it's last on the show is I figured I would just entertain the audience with how crappy God of War is.
Unplug his mic, throw him out the window.
I'll entertain the fact that Gandalf once smote Barlog on the mountainside.
With
You shall
not in the shadow of Red Dead Redemption. Chris, do you think God of War stands a chance with you anymore?
It's Chris just...
Go Tim Allen. If there's one game that could do it that I've played this year, that would be the one.
God of War.
Yeah. I mean, I've said this. I mean, I loved Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a perfectly great game. And what was our game of the year last year? What was the big game? Well, the main game. I think we were trying to think what was the big game last year. I can't remember.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. See, I would take
yours was some
Super Mario Odyssey. That's what it was.
Was it?
I think so. I can't remember. Listeners, tell us what it was. Terrible. I think it would have a much better chance of winning last year than this year for me personally. But yeah, for a while and like today, like I know Shaun's been I've been here kind of geeking out all day, right? Looking at footage because footage finally leaked. And I'll say this. I think you guys probably all understand this too, right? Like there's this moment of a difference where when you watch a developer do a run through of a game, especially when it's something like Shaun, you'll attest this, like The Division, and you're listening to people phone in these terrible talking.
Or like Destiny.
Yeah, like we're
Remember
like,
they did that?
oh man, we really got to go up here to the side here and do this mission.
We don't talk.
Yeah, no one talks like that. So like, and again, like there's a very big difference between watching someone who's perfectly scripted a run through of something because they're trying to sell it to you, versus seeing what I call in the wild gameplay. Like someone has that game and they're playing it right now. That's not something that's been cleaned up by Rockstar to look good. And the first clip that leaked yesterday, I was just like, oh my God, that looks so good. And I was like, the moment I saw it, I was like, that's everything. In that one little thing, it was like, it's like someone grabbed my Richard.
Why?
Just because it looks so smooth.
I know, but you're not.
And I'm like sitting there and I'm putting it, I'm going, man, that's something that is being captured on a card right now. That's not even 4K with HDR good looking. And I can tell from here how good this game looks. Plus, I have 90 gigs.
But you're not like a Western rootin' tootin' cowboy.
Have you ever ridden Tennessee Walkers? I grew up. I
don't know what that is.
Exactly, you don't.
2, I got no 2.
Yeah, I grew up on them horsies.
Xbox One X?
Yes, I will be playing on Xbox One X with the power of X exclusive.
What if they did a side-by-side footage and it just simply looks better on the PlayStation 4?
Well, I already know that it's running in native 4K on Xbox One X and it's not on PS4 Pro.
I just know
that said, if my friends do decide to play Red Dead Online, I'm sure I'll probably have to buy the game on PS4 just to play with them on there. Boo. And Shaun will end up playing it.
I'm probably. I don't want to play that game.
You do.
You're gonna make me play the game.
I'm not making you do anything. I'll make you play your little stupid VR games.
That hurts.
I know.
Is that the equivalent of what we've been doing to you for half the year?
Yes.
Okay, then it's fair game.
No,
you can't call me right now, person. That
Telemarker. Oh, before we go, I did have one thing. Posted it on our.
Shaun, put a case on that phone.
Why?
Or actually, no, I'll save that.
I go bareback in everything I do, John.
I'll save it for the next thing. You guys want to wrap this up?
Never. I just said it, Chris.
Just to be safe.
If you want to write in your thoughts and opinions, you can do so by writing in to weeklygameschat@gmail.com. That's weeklygameschat@gmail.com. I've only got one this week.
It's fine. It's a good one. Oh,
yeah,
no.
from Gigabyte. And I'm going to say I'm going to actually end with the postscript first because I read this in advance. He says, P.S. I hope I spelled your names right. You did.
Gigabyte, first time, long time, and he nails it.
He nailed it. So the rest of you, step your game up and learn how to spell Shaun and John. You actually, with mine, I don't know, it's because I have the most well-known
basic name of all time.
Probably like the most well-known name in the Christian world. But he says, hey, Shaun and John, it's Gigabyte.
What's up, Gigabyte?
Big fan of the show, long-time listeners, first-time caller.
Long time, first time.
Just wondering if you've ever considered having a Discord server. It would be a great way to let the community interact with you and you guys. Anyways, I love the show. Keep up the good work and game on.
Game on, Gigabyte.
I'll tell you what.
I'm down.
It would be interesting, but here's the one kicker, Gigabyte. John doesn't PC game at all. And
wait, can he
we kind of go through ebb and flows of when we PC game. Well, yeah,
it's more even console gamers rock the Discord server just for the fans to get together. If we popped in as, these famous podcast personalities that we are, then it would be amazing. It'd stir the community up with excitement.
But what will they do when they realize that there's only two people and those are just me and you? They're like, oh,
John, I think you can get Discord on your laptop.
Yeah, you can.
I got Discord.
I got the Discord.
I got Discord on my phone.
You want to play Discord?
Are you going to check Facebook before you go to Twitter? Or are you going to do that later?
Oh, actually, before I do that,
I'll tell y'all later.
Yeah. I just wanted to share before because it's Red Dead.
I was going to say that.
I was going to put up.
You're stealing my thunder. And I only got a little bit of thunder.
I posted this.
Yeah, I know that too.
This is mine.
I know you came and sabotaged my Twitter feed with this stupidness.
But I had to.
But it did get 10 likes, so.
Exactly. And a retweet. Yeah. Look at that. That's what that means.
You retweeted it.
Probably.
You can't retweet your own stuff.
Can I?
But yeah, Chris did post something. Tell him what it is, Chris.
I posted a thing at GameStop, and I just said, this is pretty much Chris all this week. And when you click on it, it does.
It's a cowboy with electronic dance music in the sky. And he's literally just an excited cowboy in the heavens watching footage of
As
Red
it says,
Dead.
me waiting to play Red Dead Redemption 2.
This same guy was used to do When I Stub My Toe.
Yes.
It's like the same thing.
But that was my one thing. Shaun,
Yeah,
if people actually wrote us on Twitter at Weekly Games Chat, what would they say?
Well, we had a friend of the show, Mr. Perchik to Kerchak.
Kerchak?
He actually got himself, fellas, a nice 50-inch 4K UHD.
Ooh.
Love a good 50-inch.
With
That's
his
a good
brand
game
new PS4 Pro.
Nice.
So he could play Red Dead?
I believe so. And he's ready. The wife endorsed the upgrade.
No wife.
Which was a basic, marriage icing on the cake, if you will. Mm-hmm. So if you remember last week, John started talking about puckle guns. And I got to say, John, you touched some people. Again, Mr. Perchik the Kerchik said that after the episode last week, which was entertaining and informative, he found the puckle gun on YouTube. It was part of ForgottenWeapons.com. And apparently, if you want a sweet puckle gun shirt, you can even get one of those from a merchandise store somewhere.
Bucklegun.com?
No, it's like some weird long thing, but it's Forgotten Weapons, and there's a Patreon for it and everything. See, John, Patreon is
something we should be doing.
We got a couple of follows, which I'll get to. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything.
By the way, our only shout out on Facebook this week was Clay Lane, who just said, "Game on, fellas. I'll give a listen to this at work," which was about Call of Duty Black Ops.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, no shocker here. The retweeter of your post about you all week was Josh Dalton.
Of course he did. Yeah. I had to let him down Saturday. It hurt.
You don't care about letting him down. He knows it.
Ooh.
You're the one who hates him.
Couple followers. I'm ready to go eat food, and I gave you an outstanding review of Astro Bot Rescue Mission. So you know what I'm saying, top notch. This is nice. At El Paiso Mojado. Thank you for the follow. Following you back. At Brandon_Shin. Thank you for the follow. We are now pending the follow back because you have an account that's legit. At Zexon389. Thank you so much for the follow, following you back. And at they enjoy humor, jokes, and making people laugh.
Huma.
On a serious note, they value the entertainment value provided by most video games and movies.
That's good.
I like it. I can get down with that. And finally, at S10 Dravin Kelly. Thank you for the follow, following you back. And he actually, he's followed, it says, by Xbox support, which is legit. And he recently retweeted a Mike Ibarra.
There, his Xbox been broken a lot enough where they're like, we should probably just follow this guy.
Do you follow Mike? Is it Ibarra? Is that, am I saying it right? Mike
Ibarra, isn't that the guy who's like in charge of Microsoft or something?
He's somewhere up there, but he streams live on the Mixer. Would you expect anything less, really?
Right, Mixer.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for the love.
Does he do it while he's calling people on Skype?
That would be really funny. Nothing else new, I don't think. I think we're good.
Yeah.
Have fun for Red Dead Friday.
Folks,
is anybody taking the day off to get it? Anybody going to stay up like Chris? Let us hear about it. You know how to get in touch with us.
Folks, this has been episode 176.
You just keep making up numbers.
I don't know. It's one of them things. Of Weekly Games Chat. If you like the show, subscribe to us on iTunes or whatever podcast service you choose, and you'll get a new episode just like this one every Wednesday. If you're there and they have a rating system and you love the show, why don't you drop us a review? Helps people find this show. We prefer 5 or 10 stars, depending on the rating. A+, if you will. If you don't like the show, subtract 1 from the top score, divide by 2, and then do what, Shaun?
Double it.
There you go. And that's the universal score for hatred and disagreement.
Does that math that up, John?
Yes.
Subtract 1, divide it by 2, and then double it.
Yes.
He doesn't know math, Shaun. Until next time, I just want the world to know that Friday at midnight, I'm locking my door. I will only open it for pizza and waiter delivery men and to walk Penny.
Are you off Friday?
I'm off Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. In Alabama does not play this week. I don't give a flip what happens to the Redskins outside of saying my schedule.
Because it's the end of the podcast, it would have been a great time for you to drop an S-bomb to edit. It would have been hilarious.
Hilarious.
Just putting that out there. Hilarious.
Hilarious.
Hey, speaking of hilarious.
What?
Game Night. The movie.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
Totally wasn't expecting it. It's on HBO Go if you want to check that out and be just like Shaun.
Power of Jason Bateman right there.
It really was. I was watching Ozark, switched over to the HBO Go, and there's Jason Bateman.
Isn't it?
With Rachel McAdams. Oh my God, I love Rachel McAdams.
Is she in that? Yeah, I was like wondering.
She's
I can't remember
so.
the female.
I love Rachel McAdams. Let's not be creepy about it. Let's just say it like a normal person, right?
Do you whenever you forget about her, do you read?
I don't forget about her. Also like
The Notebook, John.
Yeah, because also
are you mad for Ryan Gosling?
Also, really, I'm happy that I recently started following Kate Beckinsale.
Ooh,
on the Instagram.
I bet you are.
She's legit. Let's just. Hey, speaking of calling spades, right? She's legit.
Yeah. Penny is going crazy, so I will simply say, game on, Shaun.
Game on, Chris.
Game on, John.
Game on, Chris and Shaun.
Game on, Johnny Bear.
Oh yeah. Almost.
Yeah. Don't do
I'm
that.
I'm sorry.
Don't do that.
Your mom's box.
Peace out, everybody.
Thug life.
Yeah.